There is a battle raging around us for jobs, for our very livelihood, and for our peace of mind. Remember not so long ago, when AI was still brand new to all of us, appearing over there in the distant virtual horizon for the very first time, it still seemed distant and theoretical and not really a threat of any kind. AI was easily dismissible as cool but whatever, not really anything to worry about. But now, governments are fully invested, downsizing is happening, and jobs are being taken. And AI just continues to streamline, becoming relentlessly more efficient. The line has been drawn. And every time we look, that line is steadily moving forward. And after using AI almost daily for over 3 years now, I see that the real battle hasn't even started yet. AI is taking over jobs, and that's not a line or some cheap hook. That is the reality of the world that we live in right now. Nearly every aspect of human business life has been or is about to become completely changed by the economy of AI. Marketing, computer programming, graphic design, music production, finance, basic administration, customer support, systems automation. It's not just attractive to use AI anymore. We all see it happening right in front of our eyes, whether we admit it publicly or not. People around us, colleagues, friends that we know from other companies, the words downsizing and restructuring are becoming more common than ever before in recent history. And it's almost entirely related to the fact that AI tools and agentic AI systems are here, and they're only going to improve exponentially. The bulk of any organization has traditionally been made up of an administrative layer of functional workers. Those are the very white-collar jobs that AI is coming for, professing expertise and fighting for the right to continue gatekeeping that middle layer as a human-run landscape. It's already becoming a thing of the past, and those jobs are absolutely slated to be taken over by AI forever. As a kid, I remember seeing documentary specials where some geeky-looking scientist would be talking about the painfully inefficient progress being made towards artificial intelligence. It seemed like such a pipe dream back then. When ChatGPT 3.5 arrived in 2022, like so many others, I was immediately blown away. I couldn't believe that I was alive to see this become a reality in my lifetime. Being able to actually chat with an artificial mind and have a decent conversation. Insightful, thought-provoking, intelligent answers from a piece of software. It was surreal, revolutionary, and a little bit scary. It was only when other models started appearing that I began to be able to compare the virtual personalities for each of these large language models. And that's when it clicked for me, and I first began to understand what AI actually is. LLMs are trained on the consolidated wealth of human knowledge. Every book, article, website, piece of code, and every image that humanity has ever created and made publicly available. And when all of that wealth of information is fed back to us through these AI entities, they're basically acting like an elaborately crafted mirror, reflecting back everything that we've ever made as a modern society. But it took me months to realize that the mirror doesn't just reflect information, it also reflects the kind of person that you are, based entirely on what you ask it for. The more detailed and strategic that I became, the more meaningful the results that AI started to provide. When I was unclear, AI would simply magnify that confusion, agreeing completely with whatever I would say, willing to talk in circles forever. But when I started getting precise, intentional, and brutally honest, that's when AI really started talking to me, pushing back and challenging me if I were to get off track. What originally started as a quaint little sycophantic hangout with my new virtual buddy began to evolve into a strategic partnership with one of the most powerful tools on the planet. AI is unmatched at identifying trends and patterns across millions and millions of data sources. That's what it does, and it's getting better at it every single day. But AI cannot conceive something that has never existed. If you ask AI to give you the best recipe for homemade bread, it will give you a pretty decent and detailed answer. And then you say, what if we use only traditional ingredients and authentic cooking methods from like 100 years ago? No problem. The answer comes with lightning speed. And then you ask, what if we triple double the size of the loaf and we cook it on the barbecue. AI will figure out an almost plausible solution to your weird request, and you may have just stumbled on the next greatest thing since sliced bread. The crazy stuff only comes from the human side of the mirror, never from the AI mind. AI has been an incredible tool for accelerating the execution of my crazy, complex ideas, but only when I knew what I actually wanted, and then invited AI to be honest with me about the plausibility and strategic value of my crazy ideas. AI has helped me refine my overall strategy, helped me streamline my processes, and has made it possible for me to be a more efficient solopreneur creative who has a clear vision of where I'm going, where I want to be, and exactly how to get there. I've discussed all of it with AI and disagreed with it on many, many occasions, but those discussions are what ultimately helped me realize, much faster than I would have done on my own, what my plan should have been all along. So after using AI one-on-one almost daily for over 3 years now, I've done what any entrepreneurial human would do. Try to get AI to help me figure out how I can make it. I'm not the only one doing that. Forward-thinking businesses are doing the exact same thing. When a business owner who recognizes the power of AI starts asking questions like, how can we be more profitable? Where can we improve our processes? What will help us to beat the competition? One of the very first things that becomes apparent is the dwindling need for inefficient humans to do things that AI can do better. 24 hours a day for a fraction of the cost. The average middle ground, that is AI territory now. For years, millions of people have made a living working for the weekend, doing just enough to not get fired, producing mediocre work that was good enough. Most people could build an entire career being reliably adequate. I know I did, and most people have been doing it for their entire lives, but not anymore. And this is the real scary stuff for tons of people who've been getting by just fine for decades, and suddenly they're in direct competition with AI. The AI reckoning that we're witnessing is a battle to maintain the mediocre middle ground where there used to be ample money to go around. But that money and the lifestyle that came with it is fading into obscurity. We cannot beat AI at producing mediocrity. The mediocre middle ground and the human workforce that is still lingering there is simply scrounging for the remaining scraps. If our value proposition is, I'm reliably adequate, and that role is already obsolete, the line has been drawn. On the one side, work that AI can do better, faster, and cheaper. And on the other side, work that AI cannot replicate. So how do we survive this reckoning? How is it even possible to make a living, pay the bills, enjoy the lifestyle that we've become accustomed to when the work that justified our salary no longer exists or is about to become obsolete? I feel like this is about mediocrity versus originality. AI has raised the bar in such a way that good enough is now almost free. So good enough is basically worthless to companies and to the world economy in general. There are still humans doing those jobs today, but in just a few years, no company will hire a human to do this work for a salary when they can have it done at the click of a button. And these are simple examples. The complexity of AI's abilities is only going to increase exponentially. It's been 3 years. Now watch what happens in the next couple more. Making a living in a career that has revolved around all of those kinds of tasks and having that stripped away from us, that's hard. And it's not something that will be easy to adjust to. But once all of that mediocrity has been stripped away, we're left with a stark reality. It can be numbing and uncomfortable at first, but eventually, and this is simply human nature, we begin to think interesting thoughts, maybe even a little bit out of the box, as we humans say, and possibly even begin to embrace the idea that all we have left is what makes us unique, creative, and unlike anyone else. Once we allow ourselves to explore the creative or entrepreneurial side of our minds, and we give ourselves permission to think of what used to seem unthinkable and explore what we may have suppressed for years or even decades, that unexplored territory of ideas that may have been locked away for so long can be molded, shaped, and even brought to life, especially with the help of AI. That which may have seemed to only want to defeat us then becomes the most important weapon in our own arsenal. If businesses and governments can use AI, then certainly we can and should as well. And we then become the hopeful and dangerously competitive participant in a worthy and winnable fight, where the only one standing in the way of your originality is you.